Hello, and welcome to Matters of Merit, an ongoing video series featuring conversations with Meritas President Sona Pancholi and thought leaders from our network and the legal community. Each 20-minute edition offers practical insights on compelling and timely topics. Meritas is an established global alliance of closely connected yet independent law firms that each offer a full range of high-quality specialized legal services. We were built upon a rigorous system for monitoring and enhancing the quality of our member firms and have been connecting clients with carefully qualified business legal expertise in over 250 markets around the world since 1990.
So thank you for joining me for Matters of Merit. Today I'm joined by Brett Krantz, Meritas's newly elected chair. Brett, thank you so much for joining me in conversation today.
My pleasure. I look forward to it.
For those who don't know, Brett has recently been elected as chair of Meritas's board of directors, and that's a term that he'll serve for the next 2 years. In addition to his time spent ensuring the future of this organization, Brett is also on the executive committee of KJK, a leading law firm in Cleveland, Ohio. Brett specializes in commercial disputes and securities issues and has over 30 years of experience representing individuals, regulated and non-regulated companies, and is civically involved in his local community. And Brett, I thought maybe we could start right there. If you would perhaps start by telling us a little bit more about KJK and the market in Cleveland and the types of clients that the firm focuses on.
Well, Cleveland is a mid-sized, historically industrial city. It was not many years ago, probably 60 years ago, that it was one of the 5 or 6 largest cities in America. I think we are now somewhere between the 15th and 20th largest urban area in the country. It is an industrial-based city, manufacturing mostly. KJK traces its roots back to 1918 when one of our named partners, Lee Corman's father, started his firm in Cleveland, Ohio. We are a mid-sized firm for Cleveland. Cleveland has some AmLaw 100 firms that started here, many of them because of our tradition of being a much bigger city. We have, in the mid-40 number of lawyers, and we provide services to all kinds of companies, kind of historically an entrepreneurial-based clientele. A lot of people who are starting companies, and we continue to represent them when they become public companies. And that's really how we started the firm. We have, all basic practices from corporate litigation. We do a lot of M&A work, a lot of real estate work, kind of blocking and tackling of what a corporate law firm does, and that's the history of KJK.
Oh, that's great. And I know just before we started, you were mentioning some of the growth that the firm is in now. I thought maybe we could reflect what some of the key strategies you all were looking at, say, prior to the pandemic, that allows you to sort of stay top of market in the area. What are some of the things that your firm has been working on?
Well, I think one of the interesting things about this firm, from myself having come from larger firms when I started practicing, is our client base is entrepreneurial, but so is the firm. We are very forward thinking. What is it that our clients need, and therefore that we need, in order to better service our clients? So we have really been spending a significant amount of time on issues such as technology, such as how to bundle services in a way that clients can use them, a general counsel type set fee structure, so that clients can get their questions answered without worrying about getting billed for 15 minutes of time, just to better serve their needs in a way that they can have knowledge of what their costs are going to be. Easier ways to communicate with our clients. we created within the firm an app called Connective Counsel that actually won an ABA award a couple years ago. And the purpose of this app is basically so the client has all their legal needs on their phone. So if they have a question, they can either ask it through the app and get an answer, or they need access to a piece of information. It's right there for them. It's just as this world gets faster, as we become more virtual and have less time face to face, the more information we can provide the client in the manner and method that they want it, the better it is both for the client and for our relationship with the client. So that's really, we are a pretty forward-thinking place, and that makes it we're medium sized, so that gives us the opportunity to change and alter. When the pandemic hit, for example, we were well suited to immediately go virtual. We had the technology that was needed. We had the hardware and the software that was needed for everybody in the firm to immediately go virtual, and that helped. And we've continued to work on the technology side as we move forward, looking at everything from billing to client communication, to kind of match the needs of our clients and our lawyers.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you must have felt somewhat prepared, if you will, for the past year. Did you find that you had to adjust for your team at all, or do you feel like people sort of went with the flow? Was there any impact of the last year?
No, I think our firm, probably like every firm, some people, I think there was an immediate learning curve and a shock from everybody about what was going on, and not an understanding, is this short term, is this long term. Some people actually end up being better working virtually. It works better for them. Some people are not as good working virtually. They need the human interaction, the social interaction. I think the firm inherently, every firm, I think, inherently suffers a little bit when people aren't together, because part of the strength of a firm is its culture, and you can't really do that, or can't do it as well when you're virtual. And as I said, I think with every firm, some people had a really hard time being virtual, and some people were like, I never want to come back. This works much better for me.
Yeah, I think we've heard that from
and I think that's pretty standard across the industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
So then, as you look forward, obviously, as you said, the firm is a very forward-looking firm. What are some of the resources, some of the tools that you see firms like yours should be thinking about? When you talk to peers, what direction do you send them down to kind of really anticipate where things are going to go?
Well, obviously, in the technology sphere, things have been changing rapidly, and we have upgraded a lot of our technology at the firm. And sometimes it's very, everything from our CRM to our document management system. And every time you think, what's the purpose of this? And then you do it and you see what you were really missing in having a legacy older system. I think manner and method of communicating with each other and communicating with clients, I think cybersecurity is something that needs to be at the center of all businesses' thoughts and concerns. And I think that as we learn and change, and especially in America, as our competition is going to change, it's inevitable. It just, it's happened around the world. It's just slowly happening here. We need to be prepared to provide services in the way that the clients want them. And we just always need to be looking out to see what it is that we can do to better provide the services that are needed by the clients.
Yeah, I think that voice of the client is such a key indicator of how best to hear them and to then to anticipate what we can do to deliver accordingly. I think that becomes really important. So then perhaps help think with me, where would you like to see Meritas go, kind of reflecting on how the industry is changing so much? What can we be doing here, and what do you hope to lead us down the path, if you will, during your tenure here at Meritas?
Well, let me backtrack a little and start with it. The strength of Meritas is the same as the strength of the firm. We've talked a lot about clients, but the firm's only as good as its people. So we can't forget that we need to have the right people. We need to treat the right people well. We need to listen to the concerns. The concerns and the wants of people coming out of law school now are different than the concerns of people who have been out of law school for 30 years. And we need to understand those and react to them appropriately. And I think that Meritas is at an interesting point. We will always be a firm, an organization whose firms trust each other and know that we have great firms to refer to. And that's really the basis of the strength of the organization. Again, the people in the organization. But I also think that this is a point in time when we need to look at what other services Meritas A can, but B should be providing to our members. And this is what we call the value add. And we need to think about what else, in light of the fact that our competition's changing, our firms are changing and growing and expanding and getting more sophisticated. What should the organization be providing to its members? And this could be things such as, technology bundles. We represent 7,500 lawyers in a lot of law firms in a lot of countries. Should we get together and try to give our firms the benefit of the mass buy that we theoretically could do? Should we do more on the actual Meritas side to get international business, to have our firms work together through the Meritas structure? Our firms do that great through each other. Should that be something that we look at from the Meritas side? There are an infinite number of things we should consider and could theoretically if it's economically viable and economically logical, we could offer to members. And so we need to really spend time and see what do members want, what do members need, and what is practical for an organization like Meritas to provide.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I'm excited to get the chance to work with you in identifying those and to build that. And I thought perhaps before I let you go today, maybe you could share a favorite memory. Obviously, given the amount of time and the energy you spend working with Meritas, I know how important this organization is to you. Do you have a favorite memory, something that's just really special to you about being a part of this organization?
I'm going to cheat a little on this question. So this question was posed in a breakout room at our annual meeting where we had people from all over the world. And what fascinated me, because I hadn't really thought about it, is everyone's answer was one experience or a group of experiences where they were in a group of Meritas lawyers, either one-on-one or a smaller group. And I have had the privilege of meeting members from all over the world, and often in meetings all over the world, where I got to know them and their firms and understand how they practice law and how it's different than the way we practice here in the US. in settings that were that allowed us the time to have the conversation, whether it's whether it's sitting on the water after a board meeting, learning about people, or walking around a city, to grab a cup of coffee, or to just learn the city with maybe some members who are from that city and knew the city very well. I have innumerable memories of those close contacts with Meritas, which I think are invaluable to learning the organization and getting your firm more involved in the organization. I highly recommend everyone. You have to participate in order to gain the real benefits of this organization. You don't gain the benefits of what this organization can mean for your firm, and perhaps more importantly for your clients, until you know the membership. I feel privileged that I've been involved enough that probably 90 to 95% of the time when a firm client asks a question about a firm, I will know the name of the firm, and I will know people at that firm directly, and I will understand what that firm generally does. And that's a huge advantage for our clients. It's not a shot in the dark. I mean, we know every Meritas firm is quality controlled and is a good quality firm, but those personal relationships really help make your clients feel much more comfortable when they're dealing with firms they don't know as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's sort of the theme that you've been talking about here, both the relationships in your firm and the people there that really make the difference, and across Meritas as well. So I'll take that cheated answer. I think that's a great one. So.
All right.
Well,
Glad
thank you
I could
so
help.
much. Thank you so much, Brett. I really do appreciate you taking some time and sharing both your thoughts on how firms like yours can stay competitive in this marketplace, and what Meritas can do to contribute to that as well. So thank you very much.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for asking.
On behalf of Meritas, thank you for joining us today. Find this week's recording and more on-demand content in the News and Insights section of the Meritas website, www.meritas.org. Have a wonderful day.